Yo, what's good everybody, it's your girlfriend Trinilla here, and today I'm going to be playing on a sunset world in GeoGuessr. This is part of my Legend of Zélée series, with this episode being called Twilight Pointless. And of course, twilight is a time between sunset and sunrise, so that's why I'm playing on a sunset world. So let's see how I do, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Ooh, okay. Oh my gosh, okay, the sun really is setting here. Oh my gosh, those mountains were not, I was not expecting those here. Okay, so we have a lot of snow-capped mountains, which means it's really cold here. The buildings here are very like blocky, so they're blocky and tall. I'm seeing a lot of like blue, oranges, reds, and yellows. Can I tell driving direction? It does look like we're driving on the right, I believe. Yeah, it looks like we're for sure driving on the right. So that narrows it down to a couple of countries. Oh my god, like, holy, there's so many mountains. Am I like, wow. I don't know, I feel like I might go wrong continent here, but like, can you just like believe like how many mountains are around us? Like, that is such a pretty view. Okay. The point of the game is to try to guess where we are. So let me see if I can figure that out. From the buildings and the colors, like, and the abundance of mountains, I almost want to say like Norway, question mark. I don't know if that's a bad shout, but I'm like trying to think of a place that's so mountainous, would have this like style of buildings. It does like lean me towards like Europe, like the style of the buildings, but I could be wrong there. I'm trying to see if there's any like flags or anything or language I can see, but we're super high up, so a little bit difficult. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where we are, but I love all the mountains and stuff around us, and of course like the sun and the sunset and everything. So let's go near Granger in Norway. Okay. We were in Svetley. Okay, we got 28 points, so we take those. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Okay, so sunset, very beautiful. I love the blend of colors in the sky. It almost goes from like kind of like an orange yellow at the bottom to like a lighter like purple, and then kind of like this like darker like periwinkle at the top. It's like lovely shades all around. I love the little like wispy clouds we see too. Like, it's not like clouds covering the whole sky. They're kind of just like sporadic throughout. Okay, we see this building here, some sort of castle or church, maybe. A lot of roofs that are like reddish color and whitish buildings. Immediately I thought of like Central Europe, maybe. I'm thinking like Croatia. I don't really know how like mountainous Croatia is. Maybe I should check the map. Is Croatia a bad shout here? Like, I'm not sure what country it is. Ooh, that bridge is interesting. I feel like, have I seen that bridge before? No. We have, what are these, like the aqueduct, you know, type beat things. I don't really hate a Croatia guess, and do I have anything better? Should I check driving direction? Probably. Are there cars on the road? I feel like there's no one who's like awake and driving yet. Everyone looks to be not on the road. I think we are driving on the right. Let's go with like a Croatia. Does that make sense mountain wise? Sure, there's a mountain symbol there. We'll go here. Okay, not horrible, not the right country of course. So we're actually in Fribourg in Switzerland. Okay, so I could have been closer. Okay, we are seeing a sunset, and these people are like almost holding hands or something. I can't see the language on the sign. It is a little bit unclear. Also very blurry here. License plate, we do have the blue strip on the left. So someplace, probably in Europe, I'm guessing, or at least a car can travel to this place from Europe. I'm trying to think, like, because it's so pixelated, I can't tell if like the letters are like Cyrillic. Are they like letters like, you know, the Phoenician alphabet? Like, is it something I would be able to read normally? What is the vibe here? We've got water. We've got a couple of mountains. It feels very cold. Very cold. I almost want to go like Iceland because of how cold it feels, but this could be really wrong. I'm going to go near Borgarnes. Okay, a lot further south. So we were in Ireland and we were closer to Galway, which makes me think of the Ed Sheeran song Galway Girl. Okay. Ooh, okay. So the sun is setting back there, which is like kind of behind the tree, so it's a little bit more hidden. This one's a little bit more difficult because I think we're like on an island, and I don't know how big the island is, but we're on the beach. We see the water. Can I try to get the continent correct, question mark, from just like the trees and everything? Obviously we have these like palms that are very like fanned out, right? So someplace kind of warm, I'm thinking. Boats. Tall thing over there, tall building. This one I feel like is just like vibe. So like, where does a vibe like? Let's go like Maldives. Sure. We'll go here. Okay. Not the right country, but like closer than I thought, to be honest. So we'll definitely take that. We were in Sri Lanka and we were over here by Foul Point. Okay. I'll take 2.2k for sure. Ooh, okay. So I know where this is. I don't know what the names of these things are on the beach, but like I feel like I know. Okay, so I see palm-like trees. I see a lot of buildings that are kind of like rectangular. It feels like a little warm. I mean, obviously we're on the beach, so it can't be like that cold, right? Although some of the water seems like it's like frothing almost, like when it hits the sand area. What continent does it feel like we're in? I think that's a church or something, right? With like the tall spire at the top. There's a little bit of this like warm mountain here. So I'm like someplace with like a warm mountain that's not snow-capped, that has these kind of like more blocky looking buildings and like palms. I'm almost thinking like maybe like a coastal Spain. Is there like a mountainous coastal part of Spain? Like up here ever? Okay, we were actually in Egypt, I think, and we were closer to Baltim. So not close at all. We only got 7.5 thousand points there, but I know I can do better than that. So let's keep going and seeing all the pretty sunsets and see how I do. Okay, I think I like loaded in last round for like a second. So, ooh. Was this the one we had? Did we have this already? Hold on, mountains all around it. Is this the round that we just had before? Okay, hold on, language. No, I don't think it is. Ito, oh, shopping. Okay, I see the word shopping on there. Okay, we see a lot of cars. We're driving on the right, which is probably putting me towards Europe here. Red buildings, big church. Lots of waterways, lots of like warm tropical trees. Okay, the trees are kind of leaning me towards maybe like over here in Europe, like a Spain, Portugal, ever. Pink lights, red lights. Maybe the like orange / redness of the roofs is leaning me more towards Portugal. So let's go like near Aveiro. Okay, not horrible. We were in Croatia, so at least the right continent there. We're closer to Split. And we got 1,000 points, so we'll definitely take that. Okay, sun in the sky, setting. Beautiful, beautiful. We've got these like, ooh, interesting like rock formations behind us. Like, they're kind of tall. They're not completely smooth. They're like a little jagged, but not the most jagged. They're like reddish rocks. Okay, what are the buildings telling me? They're cubular and they're more like tan / warm tone colored colors. And I think it's like unofficial coverage because it feels like it's on like a pod or something, like a tripod potentially. I don't know why it makes me think of like Morocco ever. Like, I know Morocco doesn't really have like official coverage at the moment, but like, I don't know. I kind of get the vibe, so let me go near Rabat. Okay, no, we're actually in Sudan, near Kassala. Okay, that's the place I've never seen coverage of before in GeoGuessr. So that is cool to see. Okay. We are surrounded by very like forested mountains. Like they're super green, lots of trees, lots of vegetation. The sun is setting. The clouds in the sky are a little bit more like ceilings. Like if you like had a house or room in like the 90s, like I don't know if it's just in the US or whatever, but like I'll throw a picture of what I mean on the ceilings, like that kind of like crackly texture. Okay, so we are in a place with a bunch of palms. What direction of the road are we driving on? Don't know because we're not actually driving at the moment. Okay, hill. Okay, houses. Wow. I mean, I think like as we've seen so far, I'm kind of spectacularly bad at identifying unofficial coverage. I mean, some could say the same goes for official coverage too. But I'm kind of just enjoying and vibing the time here. So let's see, kind of warm, kind of tropical. Houses are giving, maybe I'll say someplace mountainous, or I don't know, let's go in like West Kalimantan. I'll go near Sintang. Okay, we're in Taiwan. So we were in the right continent at least. We were closer to Daolu. Okay, 600 points. Ooh, okay. This is like the biggest, like, perfect, like, round sunset I think we've had so far. Like, the most clear view. Like, there's not really anything blocking it. Like, a little bit of this tree, but that's okay. We still take those. Okay, so lots of mountains around us and a lot more, like, flat mountains too. A lot of them have been kind of like, you know, more rounded or like jagged. Low-key reminds me of like Southwest US maybe. These dry craggly like rocks are an interesting color. Kind of like a lot of like bushes or short trees. What am I thinking here? This house is not giving like Southwest US, right? I don't think so. Bridge, people. I feel like it's giving more like somewhere like here in Peru. I'm gonna go just like in the middle here near Kailoma. Okay. So close, but could be closer, some would say. We're closer to Warm Quell, which it does feel warm. So that does make sense. Okay. Have I had this location before? I don't. Have I? Maybe I've had it in a different map or something like that. Okay, so we see the sun setting, although it's just very bright, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly where the sun is, but it's kind of just like coating the whole sky. Dark green mountain. What are the vibes of the buildings giving? They're like kind of a tan texture or color, tan and white, cream colors with like red orange roofs. We kind of got this like tall hotel which sticks out from the rest of the architecture. Lots of like volcanoes, right? Or are they just mountains? They kind of look a little bit volcanious. I don't know why I keep thinking like Spain or Portugal. Maybe it's just like because I'm like, oh, it's like warm. But I don't know what place would look like this. There's like a ton of private boats and yachts. So someplace semi-rich, or maybe there's just a lot of rich people there. So let's see, what's like a city that sounds like it'll have a lot of boats and stuff? Are there a lot of ports here? Yeah, sure. We'll go like here because I know we're not in the land. We're kind of like above the water. Okay, I'll take it. We were not in the right country, but we're in the right continent. We're closer to Castellammare di Stabia in kind of like outside of Naples in Italy. We have 3.6k. I'm going to keep going and looking at all the pretty sunsets. Okay, it loaded in last round. That is okay. Ooh. This reminds me, not exactly, but similar to the Namibia round we had, like maybe like a round or two ago. So I'm going to go northern Namibia and not think too much about it here. Okay, I don't think it was the same exact round as before, but something about like the rocks and everything just felt like very familiar to the one round that we had a couple of times ago. So I will take getting 3.8k. That's kind of more points than the entirety of the whole last time with the 5 rounds. So definitely an improvement there. Okay, we're at the end of a pier. What am I thinking here? That rhymed and I didn't even mean for it to rhyme. I don't know why it reminded me of like King's Landing almost a little bit, like, you know, from Game of Thrones or whatever. But I know that was filmed a lot in Croatia. I don't know if King's Landing specifically was from there, but I could see this being like a Croatia maybe. Although the pinkish, like orangish of the buildings, I'm like Italy ever too, like southern Italy. But they're also like low-key not that far from each other. So I'm like, I don't think I'll get a horrible score either way. We could be completely wrong here. I'm going to go near, I think Split. No, actually, where'd they film? I think it was Dubrovnik. We'll go with Split. Okay, it was Italy. So I at least mentioned it before. It was Monterosso al Mare, which is kind of outside of south of Genoa. 3.3 though, so we are popping off and improving. Okay. The sky is very bright. The sun is over here. It is setting over the city. What do I notice about what people are doing? They're driving on the right, so not a left-hand driving country. There's some sort of like football, sport, stadium, concert arena. I don't know if it's still being completely built because I think like maybe these are parking lots that are being paved. So maybe not open yet as of the time of this like footage being taken. I'm looking for maybe like flags in the windows if there's any, seeing if there's language like billboards or something on any of those signs. Lots of different car types. I like that color blue for the car. It's not like a common blue you see. Maybe it feels like Eastern Europe ? There's a church there, I think. Big river. Maybe I go near, where's a place that's gonna have like a big football / sports stadium and it's gonna have buildings that look like this, like Latvia ever? Like I'll go in Riga, I guess, although I feel like this is not Riga, but we'll see. Okay. Did I cook there? I mean, I know it's not the right country, but I don't think that was like the worst guess in the world. Okay, we were in Kaliningrad, so yeah, not the worst guess, not the best guess, but as far as how this map is going, I think it's been better than most of my guesses there. So I'll take 3.8. Okay, there is a ton of red dirt. Okay, let's look at our sunset. How do we rate the sunset? I haven't been rating the sunsets, but this one is kind of all-encompassing. We're seeing a lot of blue and pink, so kind of like reminding me of like cotton candy flavors because those are your typical 2 colors of cotton candy. What do I think here? Red dirt. What side of the road are we driving on? This is a roundabout, so hard to tell there. I think it's the right side of the road. I'm trying to look for like a road where there's 2 cars, but most of these seem to be one-way roads, so that is not super helpful. I think it is right side driving though. Yeah, this feels like right side driving. Okay, which does that narrow it down to a continent for me? No, not particularly, but I should at least not choose a country that's left-hand driving. That's like the bare minimum I've got here. Red dirt, Lots of vegetation. My most often like guess, if it's like right side driving and red dirt, is probably Brazil. But are these houses and like buildings screaming Brazil? Could they? I'm not entirely sure. It does seem like we're near a coast, and there's a lot of coast in Brazil. Let's go, like, we'll go near Florianopolis. I don't hate it. We were in a neighboring country, so it was actually in Paraguay, when I guess in Brazil, and we're actually in Concepcion. Okay, and we're near the Paraguay River. So that was like the water I saw. Wasn't an ocean, it was a river. Oh my gosh, this is like beautiful. I feel like I'm just saying like every location is beautiful, but like it truly is. I mean, it's not even just like the sun, it's like the mountains, like the snow, the lake, like it's just like how the sun is hitting everything. Like look at the sky. Like this is like, I know there's like, you know, Gen 4, Gen 3. It's like Gen like 8. Like look at this. Like look how pretty that is. Anyways, snowy mountains. Kind of like some sort of like shack / hut here. So maybe the person's Airbnb or like whoever's taking care of, you know, like the area around this lake. It does seem very remote. Snowy mountains. It's not a place that I recognize. Not that I've like recognized any of these locations really so far, but what are the trees giving? They're like they don't feel like very pine-like is what I mean to say, I guess. Kind of like bushes. Does this feel like South America ever, like that type of like building, and maybe the trees would work with that too? I'm thinking like really southern Chile, so let's go Puesto Garay. Wow, okay, so way more north in Norway. Did I forget to check the sun direction? You know, I kind of said that I was gonna check the sun direction for a lot of this in the beginning of the video, like in my head, but then I've kind of been forgetting to this whole time, and that probably would have helped me here because we went completely wrong side of the world. But you live and you learn. I got 13,000 there, which is definitely, I think, the best score that I've had overall so far. I'm gonna play this map one more time and see how many sunsets I can see in like pretty sights, and then I'm also going to hopefully to remember to check the sun direction so I can at least get right continent on every round. Hopefully the sun's not just like directly above us, because then that won't help, but didn't check it for the past couple. A rainbow. Okay, love a pretty rainbow. Okay, sun is in the south, so we're in the north, or if it's setting in the south, we're in the south. Do I remember how the sun works? Okay, so lots of vans, lots of houses. Immediately makes me think of Europe. Like this feels like very like European style. I think we're driving on the right from like that car over there. Lots of houses, lots of fields. Okay, a little bit of like a yellow house, but mostly like white / pinkish color with like gray roofs. I'm thinking like Italy, I'm thinking France, I'm thinking Switzerland, somewhere over here with like the kind of like architecture style. Obviously we're near water, so I'm like, but is this like a lake or is this like an ocean? Let's go near Lausanne. Okay, we were in Germany, so like we're actually near Lohm. Yeah, Lohm, I think, because it was like blocking one of the letters there, so I wasn't sure. Okay, sandy beach, not a location we've had so far. These mountains are like interesting because they're like reddish and rocky, so not the most smooth, not the most like pointy either. What do the mountains remind me of? Ooh, wind turbine. Okay, interesting. Car over there. Camping. Camping is in English, and I'm pretty sure the sign says like sunset or something. That's like kind of what I'm guessing it says. Would you have camping in English? Where would you have that on like a sign? I'm trying to think of like locations we've had already that are gonna have some English on their signs, maybe not entirely English. Oh my gosh, look at the little paw prints. Oh my Little puppy was here at one point. Where do I think we are? Getting it distracted by not the point of the game. There's white paint on the bottom of the trunk, so I'm like, ever like, you know, the white paint at the bottom of a Romania pool? Although the mountains are not Romania, I think. Gosh. I'm really unsure here, but like, I guess it makes me think more of like the Namibia mountains that we saw before. I'm not entirely sure. Let's go near here in Namibia. Yeah, so close, but not really. We're actually closer to Sfinari in Greece, I think. Ooh, okay. So we had this location we just had before. What did I guess? I guessed Chile, and it was Norway, question mark? Like somewhere up here in Norway. I didn't like look exactly because I think I was just so shocked how far off I was. Oh, sun is in the north. Sun is setting in the north, which means we're in the north. Yes, I think. So I think this was the Norway round. Okay, that's the best score we've had so far, but also because I think it's the only repeat we've had so far. But we do take those because it's still a pretty view. Okay, I think this one is also new because I don't recognize the location. So let's absorb everything and take it in. We are near... Are we above the clouds? These are clouds, right? I'm like, whoa. Really high elevation. Of course, we see the sun setting, which is like, this is probably like one of the best views you could ever get ever if it was like, you know, in real life. I mean, it's like very pretty through the picture now, but I feel like a lot of things like, you know, like sunsets, sunrises, aurora borealis don't get justice necessarily from pictures. Like, of course, it can still look pretty, but like, you know, I think they just don't compare to the real life thing. Okay, so very tall, mountainous, high elevation, kind of like white sandy pathway. Someplace above like civilization. We're above the clouds. So where am I thinking here? Not really much I'm thinking, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, we're kind of above the clouds. And geoguessr is not really typically at this altitude from what I understand, although I could be wrong. Let's go Greece because the last location was Greece, because I don't have a better idea of what continent we're in. Or maybe, should I check the sun? I should check the sun. Okay, so the sun is setting, right? This is not a sunrise, so if it's setting in the east-southeast, let's say it's setting in the south, because it's between, yeah, if it's setting in the south, southern hem? Hold on. It was setting in the south for the Norway round, and that's northern hem. So I think it's, no, we're northern hem. Yeah, so do I know how to read the sun? Okay, if I'm reading the sun correctly or whatever, then I think we're in northern hem. I'm gonna go with Greece, even though I don't know if it's the right continent. Let's see. Okay, we'll take getting the right hemisphere. We were in the north. We were actually in Taiwan though, so we're closer to Fenglin. Okay, and we got 6 points. Is this someplace I recognize? No. But we kind of see more of like a faded sunset here. So not kind of like the bright orange colors we were seeing before. It's more just like a like light blue color all around. Like we can see kind of like faint pinkish orangish colors behind the rocks in the background. Greenish blue water, which is interesting. I think like the rocks, I almost like want to say reminds me of like Lesotho mountains, like kind of like the flat squareness of it. But I don't know about this like green water or like even like the flowers and stuff. Like I think we could be like so many different places. Trying to see. Yeah, I don't know. I truly do not have a good grasp of what continent I'm on. What direction is the sun setting in? It's setting in the west. Rises in the east and sets in the west. It's more... Is the sun... Wait, actually, is it there? Yeah, the sun is here, I think, is where it's brightest. So... Rises in the east and sets in the west. I think that's like a northern hem thing, right? So I can't go Lesotho then. If I'm following that logic, if the logic is not flawed, which It very well could be. Where is gonna have kind of these like flat-ish rocky things like this. Why do I almost want to go like the US? Like ever like I don't know, like someplace in like a national forest. This could be like not a cookier. I'll go near Goose Lake and we'll see where we are. Okay, I kind of like cooked with the country there at least. Like obviously it wasn't the right state, but I'll take 2.7 and we were in Columbia National Wildlife Refuge, which is in Washington. Okay. Well, at least I got the right continent there and the country, so we'll definitely take that. All right, ending on a 9.393 for our Sunset World map. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Legend of Zélée, Twilight Pointless, where I played on a Sunset World and GeoGuessr. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Also have the map linked in the description if you want to try it out yourself. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla, and have a great day.